Well, I wasn't gonna talk, y'all, but so there's a major difficulty. I guess the shadow banning has begun. I've heard, we talked about this on Pal Talk quite a bit. Twitter. I mean, we've seen what they did. What's the pillow guy's name? Brian. Brian Williams. Would somebody pass the Grey Poupon, por favor, please? How dare that, Mike Lindell? Who does this Mike Lindell think he is? I mean, what does he have He has chopped up rubber. He thinks he's some. I mean, what's wrong with this guy? The shadow banning has apparently begun, unless Twitter. Okay, I am no longer receiving text messages. I've tried an additional phone. So I have no access, for the record. I have no access to my old Twitter. I tried to create a new Twitter. In fact, I even used an authenticator app to get around it, so that because I know they can be kind of vulnerable. But then, of course, it wanted to send, after I set that up and I relogged in, it wanted to send a message. So I used a different phone. It still won't. It's possible that Twitter is experiencing. I mean, we'll see. I'll check in a couple hours. I highly doubt it. It's just, I don't know. But I don't like not having access. You know what I mean? I think is this what they were talking about, shadow banning? They just make it impossible. Is this sometimes you got to take the internet away from people? Like I said, I was planning on being quiet, but yeah, I mean, at some point, I mean, again, my goal was never to abuse anybody or to hurt anybody's feelings. My main goals were what? To demonstrate what I'm doing, what I do in my life, and that I have done nothing even close to what anybody has accused me of, whether it's at school, in this town, or anywhere. On Paltop, well, years and years ago, I might have gotten a little while, but so it becomes, you're outnumbered. There's too many of them, and like I said, I don't want to overly react. It could be, and they're these liberal, socialist, communist. Excuse me. They will stop at nothing. Okay, and I just want to correct the record. I didn't mean my parents don't not like in terms of a red flag, but they just don't like my dad. He's like that guy could be Trump's brother. I mean, talk about polar bear slave driver, jelly running down. You know what I mean? And now that he has no place for his own son, I just don't. I want to honor my parents, and I don't. That's a commandment. So I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm just going to leave it at that. He made me pretty upset. So, but he does not like guns, and you know what? If I lived with Leslie, I'd be scared. I'd be scared to have a gun around too. But I've been around guns all my life, ever since I've been up in Grand Rapids. Started off with a 20 gauge Mossberg. And I just mean like my parents, like my stepdad, like Tom. Like Tom used to go with Tom Eisenshank, Jerry Hokanen, Wayne Jones, all the guys down at New Hope, Alano. For many, many years they were involved. I would go out there before I was even old enough to shoot. We would go out to the Blaine Gun Club, and they were in a trap league. Okay, so I've been around guns all my life. But for some reason, I don't know. It's not just me that I think they've watched too much CNN or too much MSL, the Communist News Network, or MSLNSD, LSD. I'm not sure. It's not just me. They don't want anybody. They literally want to get I don't know how they've brainwashed people. It's like they don't mind that Betty O'Rourke and his boys got AK-47s, right? But I don't understand. By the time the police get there, it's too late. If you got an emergency, if Dusty shows up again, or if somebody shows up that don't like you, by the time you call the police, which is crazy. I wish we had the castle doctrine in Minnesota, because you know what I mean. But I'm a moderate, okay? Now I don't agree like down in Texas. I mean, the old saying goes, we just drag them in the yard and shoot them and call the police. Yeah, I mean that's extreme on that side. But literally, it's kind of a running joke. In Minnesota, in order to defend yourself, the law it's crazy. The law is on the side of the criminals, tweakers, and drug addicts who might break in your house, pillage and rape and tie you up. Because you literally have to like try to flee. There has to be a great amount of I think some lawyers joked with me one time. They said basically you need to nicely ask the person to leave, and then you need to offer them some milk and cookies, and then you need to go lock yourself in your bathroom. And then if they happen to kick that door down and you can survive the assault, you're allowed to defend yourself and shoot them. Other than that, you pretty much got to jump out the window because you're going to have a lawsuit. That's how, so the castle doctrine is in between. It allows you to defend yourself at least in your own home, right? And it's somewhere moderate between in Texas, right? But what I meant by my parents, I do a lot of talking, so I guess I gotta try to be more careful. What I meant was my parents, they do not like guns. Okay, they just don't. And it's strange because Tommy we used to go hunting crow. We used to go blast crows for fun. We drive around in the Geo Metro that he got from Pete Medved and Dennis Medved. That was his first car. He had a company car at River Place Counseling Center in Anoka. He worked there for 25 years. And we used to drive around in that little Geo Metro out in Western, like in Corcoran and that, and scour we'd have a loaded shotgun back then. Today you wouldn't want to do, I don't know. I'd have a loaded shotgun. We'd be driving around and we'd be skimming the cornfields, and we would we'd go with Jerry. We went a couple times with Jerry Hokanen. We'd just go out, you'd have to get permission from the farmer or whatever. And you'd have a crow call. Instead of going spending $50 at the gun club, you get a box of shells and go blow some crows up, and so they got that. I think seriously, like my mother and Tom, they only watch CNN. Well, my mother will watch MSLNSD. Okay, but they are absolute. I don't know. They've been brainwashed. So when I say that they don't want me to have it, they don't want anybody. They're like one of these people they want to get rid of. And I watch this stuff, and it's insane how they just think they can just take everybody's Second Amendment away, and it's just nuts. But I'm starting to realize that there's no point to even try to fight these liberals on the internet. In terms of their hacking, they just keep at you. So it's too much work. So I guess there's that old saying, you can't beat them, join them. There's no way I'm joining them, but and it was never my point. The only reason, like I said, I wanted to demonstrate. Well, I wanted to have an alibi. Nobody could accuse. I've left this house. There's videos. I've left this house 3 times in the last year. Okay. All right, so I embarrassed myself, but I'm just kind of a boring kind of guy that whatever, kind of messy right now. But you can watch the videos, you can see my intention was never to harm anybody or be an asshole or it was just to kind of offer some of my views to respond to some things that because even on Pal Talk, all you do is get a red dot. There's no freedom of speech. So I just wanted to kind of address some points that I've been restricted on, you know, freedom of speech. And so I'm kind of tired of trying to keep up with all the hacking. And like I said, I think I've mostly proved my point. I think there's enough evidence out there to demonstrate, okay, you might not like me, you might not like my personality, you might not like my political views, you might not like guns, whatever. Most people don't like me. I understand that. Part of that just comes from I don't know. But like I said, I mean, somebody who's an alcoholic drinking all the time, I mean, I drink coffee. And there's no doubt I went through a storm, a huge one. And I'm not sure it's over completely, but I feel like enough time's gone by where I've demonstrated that I'm only half a weirdo, and whoever's been doing this ought to leave me alone and just let me live my life. But now what's happened is I think whether it was Democrats or Republicans or conservatives or devils or Satanists initially, now what's happened is the liberals, the absolute radical left-wing liberals have gotten wind. They got wind of it down at my school. I mean, they literally tried to assassinate me. Now they've gotten a hold of me here. It was never my intention to hide. I don't think I have a reason to hide. Okay. And so now these radical, absolute radical left-wing liberals have gotten wind of it, and now they're trying to hack everything I got, and they're doing a pretty good job. And I kept up with them for a while, but they've got an army or something now, and they're going around the clock. And now we'll see. Why, I'm not going to get too excited about Twitter, but it's two phones. It's my maybe it'll start working later. And if I get too excited, then they'll turn it back on and go, look at the guy. He's paranoid. Look at him. He was ranting and raving about how paranoid Twitter's taking over. Look at it's working for him now. You just can't. They come at you from every angle. I mean, I'm so close to just turning it all off, but I've migrated into a couple other areas. I just not until people want to completely leave me alone. Like, I feel like I can't be quiet, because they'll just lie. They'll just lie. If I completely turn these cameras off, they can say anything. And I truly wish we could, for the sake of the country, I wish we could respect each other's views. Like, I don't care how people live their lives. I don't think it's my duty as a Christian or a Jew or a Judeo-Christian or Jewish, come from Jewish, heritage. I'm Jewish by blood, Christian by choice. I don't think it's my duty to go around spending my precious energy, especially at my trying to tell people how to live in a democracy, a republic. I mean, the people have spoken on so many issues, but now that the people have spoken, now it's like they've reversed the role where it's like they're literally trying to force views, and like it's not okay that we people like me are neutral, and I don't have time. I can't even hardly I can't even do all the things I want to get to during the day. Why do I want to waste any time in your life or your sex life or what you do? I get enough to worry about. But now they've turned it where they want to destroy you if you say you don't agree with it or you got that Bible there, right? It's gotten to a point. I mean, it's definitely above my pay grade because, like I said, I'm still sure you can't win no matter what direction you go. One side is going to be angry about something, or you're not going to be good enough, or you're going to offend them here or offend them there, and they're gonna have no use for you. So I mean, I don't know what to do other than live a quiet life, but that didn't seem to be working. Twitter was working fine for 6 months. Never once was there one computer glitch, and I've been sending tweets every hour for 6 months straight. Okay? And so, but I thought about sometimes I say stuff and I'm thinking, that didn't sound right. Yeah, I don't mean like my parents are worried I have a gun. I mean they just don't like guns. They don't like. They want to get they listen to these shows, these propaganda. It's propaganda. It's all fed to us. We hear what they want, and they're old. They don't hunt, they don't fish, they don't do none of that no more. So they want to get rid of every gun. I just got an over under. It's got 2 shells, and I've been taking that down to the gun club for years, and I'm concerned if they'll lie about that, and the reason why is because silence is not an option. They know that makes me happy to go down on the weekend and shoot around a trap or shoot around a ski. And there's not a whole lot of us left. But I am going to continue to stand with the Second Amendment and my right. That I've done nothing, and it seems to me that those people down at the college, I literally approached my teacher, and I told her, look, a lot of things have been going wrong lately. And she came after me so bad. You wouldn't believe it. You'd have think I cussed her or, I don't know. And I'm telling you, I've never seen such a hostile teacher. And then the dean of students, same thing. It was one thing after another. That's all I said to her. And she writes up, oh, well, he told me that he thinks everybody's against him. Oh, yeah, right. You know what? If somebody's telling you that, yeah, we ought to maybe take a look at, hey, guy, are you all right? Sure. I didn't say, I just said, I meant like Murphy's Law. Like everything's been going bad. Everywhere I turn, except finally now my degree. Finally, there was a breakthrough. But the way she reported me, she made me look so bad. Does she even have a conscience? Does the radical left-wing liberal tutti fruttis, do they even have a conscience anymore? I don't think so, because if you can write that stuff, if you can let somebody be 2 minutes away from signing away their Second Amendment, and you won't even, it's just, it's unreal. So I guess somehow what I need to do is I need to convince not the polar bears, but the moderate, I guess, maybe, or maybe not. I still need to convince a few Republicans that I'm worthy, that, yeah, I'm a little older, sure, I'm not going to be able to produce like a 20-year-old, but you're gonna get consistency. You don't ever have to worry about me drinking alcohol. I'm always gonna show up. My views aren't gonna change. There's got to be a practical use for me. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some people somewhere that will stand up for me and be like, yeah, all right, that guy's made a lot of mistakes in life, but you know, uh, sure, we maybe we can find something for him to do other than letting these absolute left-wing radicals destroy me, because they've taken over the internet. They've all but taken over technology. We see did you see what they did to Mike Lindell on they had him on CNN, or was it the guy walked off the set. And look, I'm not going to get into politics, but all he was doing was saying, hey, they have video down in Arizona of somebody sitting there at a machine all by himself with a stack of voting things. Forget, irregardless of whether you wanted to get rid of anybody or not. That's a whole nother side thing. The issue is what he's doing. He was literally, we saw the video, right? Of putting the just to go one after another, just at a machine, and putting a false voting thing. And Mike Lindell said, hey, there's some people, some lawyers that are checking that out. And they called it hate speech. The guy got so frustrated. Was it on CNN or MSLSD? And he walked off the set. And you know what they did? Mike, he wasn't even raising his voice. They asked him a question, and they didn't like the answer. So what did they do? They silenced him. They just slowly lower your mic. Sometimes you just got to take the internet from people, folks. Now, I don't know Mike Lindell. His public story, he's a recovering drug addict, crack addict. He's very open about it, alcohol. And hey, not a bad gig if you can get, hey, that chopped up rubber, Brian Williams. You and your Grey Poupon, sir, will keep your dirty paws off the gun, sir. Hey, if I wish I would have figured out how to put some chopped up rubber in a bag and become a millionaire. That wouldn't be so bad, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. And then, so what did they do? He wasn't even being loud. He was just saying, look, that we've got some discrepancy at many locations, right? And they didn't want to hear the truth. And they control the technology, they control the media, they control just about everything now. And what did they do? They slowly just boiled the frog. They lowered his mic. Okay? And then they start lying. And then when they lower his mic and Mike Lindell gets a little frustrated and like me and says, hey, you asked me a question. Have the decency to let me answer. You asked me on this show. Just because you don't like, you're not going to make me look like a fool, and you don't like the answer. And then he got the guy got so frustrated, he walked off the set. How unprofessional! Talk about you're fired. That guy should be fired. He walked off the set because Mike Lindell was trying to explain, hey, we've got some lawyers looking into some voting discrepancies down in like hundreds of locations. Okay. Forget politics. That kind of behavior is why people start storming, start acting goofy, because you're not playing fair. And then you want to melt down every gun in the country. And they'll do anything to get to it. What is it called? Every town? Man, I mean, I'm terrified of every Democrat there ever was. I don't want to, you know what? Seriously. Just do me a favor. If you're a radical left-wing Democrat that wants to melt down every gun in the country and take the Second Amendment and lie through your teeth like them people down at college, please stay away from me. Don't talk to me. Don't even waste our time. I guess I'm going to go try to convince somebody that, hey, I might have to take a nap once in a while, like I did when I was out working for the slave driver Mark. You're disrespectful. Well, it's like, and then you know what they do when Mike Lindell, when you lower his mic, you ask him a question. So what they do is they infuriate you. And then when you get mad, They go, look at him, he's crazy. I mean, they've got this Communist Manifesto playbook down to an art form. Absolute masters of deception. And it's frustrating. I don't know what the answer is, but apparently they've got my Twitter account shut down now. I was able to create another one, and I quickly tried to set up an authenticator, but whoever was watching, they bypassed the authenticator and said, nope, we want to send a text message because that's easy to hack. We can stop that with just a couple strokes of a keyboard. We'll see. If it's not back on within a couple hours, they absolutely hacked me, which, it's a shadow ban. Can't prove it. It's everything. But why the downspouts? How deep does the evil go? I've been arguing with my parents about politics. I voted for Trump. I did. You can go down to Washington County. You can look it up. Well, unless, I don't know, did the guy at the post office, did he tear it up? I sent it with Tommy. I voted absentee during the thing. Do they have there should be a record of me voting for Trump. I voted for Trump based on the Second Amendment, based on borders, based on, hey, can we stop the hemorrhaging? Hey, do you mind if you don't arrest me for asking a guy from Syria, a Syrian national, that he's got 3 of his Talibani buddies, and I ask him, hey, could you pray over out of the walkway, please? And they damn near arrest me, and I go up before the dean for that one too. I've been arguing with my parents about you know what? I think that's why my mom won't talk to me. She loves me, and she said, but she's been trying. She hired this lawyer who won't talk to me. He's a Democrat. I've tried to be respectful. I tried to ask him about my case, and all he'll tell me is, you're bothering me now. And I'm like, I'm wondering who has a lawyer that won't talk to him, but only that's fine. You're paying. My mother's paying you, but my mother is an absolute liberal communist. If that's not another play out of the liberal communist manifesto, I don't know what is. I'm an outdoorsman. I voted for Trump, so would it be all right if we see these guys that are taking over our colleges? I was born here, and a guy is praying in the middle of the road, and I don't even have a right to ask him, hey, dude, can you move, bro? Hey, it's fine, you're here, whatever. But do you gotta pray right here other than you're doing it on purpose? Move over there or something, dude. You won't go to your prayer room. We got a special prayer room, but you want to be out here in front of everybody with a captive audience. Say, I couldn't think any differently with my parents. All right. Okay, again, I voted for Reagan in kindergarten. I have voted Republican in every election there ever was. I painted $1 million homes for a few years on and off. Okay, so I worked for people. I worked for a lot of Republicans. All right. A lot of my friends, all my friends growing up, their parents, Republicans. Okay. But I'm old now, but that doesn't change my views. Okay. But for some reason, I'm pretty sure most of the polar bears are Republican too, and they don't like me, and it has something to do with talking to some of their women or something, or I'm not sure. Kind of a deplorable, kind of old, never did figure things out. So that's one of the problems. They eat their own, I guess, sometimes, but I'm not just gonna I'm not gonna get steamrolled. I mean, I'll keep going until they at least leave me alone. but they got you from every. I mean, they just keep coming at you from all sides. It's got nothing to do with mental illness. In fact, you know what that was part of their plan. That was one of dozens of their goals to disarm society is to you know how that's why the Republicans they've been arguing and talking about why is it so easy to get on the government cheese. It's so easy, the welfare, because they get voters. What better way? And then they attach a mental illness or something to them, and then they take all their rights. This isn't about just closing gun hole loopholes. Yeah, I mean, even Republicans agree you probably shouldn't be able to just go to a gun show without identifying who you are and just walking away with a gun. Yeah, it's probably not such a great idea anymore. But this idea that you can only buy one gun a month and you gotta, I mean, that's insanity. And now they've limited, like in places like California, they've limited the magazine to what, 5 rounds? I mean, what good is a gun? What good is an unloaded gun for self-defense when a bad guy comes in with a gun loaded and 3 of his friends? What good is an unloaded gun in your safe? Yeah, good luck getting that. Now, obviously, if you have children, that changes everything. Then you need to consider like a biometric type of system, and there are some pretty efficient, pretty fast, but then you're probably going to want one every 6 feet or something. Yeah, because that changes everything, and it should. But I mean, if it's just you or just you and your wife or something, but these rules, these laws, I mean, they've put the NRA out of business. You can't turn on MSNLSD or CNN without them showing something, a railing on, literally. I mean, the only thing between the Second Amendment and the devil anymore are these guys right here. Okay, that's right, up to date. I'm a card-carrying member of the NRA. All right. See, that flag there is starting to fade. I think they're trying to tell us something. They down to bushwhackers and woodies. Last of the Mohicans. I mean, I practically vomit. The way they talk about, like the NRA wants to, so Colonel North stepped down because of improprieties. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Wayne says he needs a new suit. Somebody get Wayne a new suit, would you? He's the only thing left between the devil and the Second Amendment. Yeah. No. Okay. Now that I got my Twitter. I wish they just tell me, hey, go have a nice life. Delete, why can't they just call me? Because that's not their goal. Just call me up and say, have a nice life. Enjoy Florida or California or Arizona or New Mexico, somewhere warm, Louisiana, New Mexico, Idaho, New York. Just enjoy your life, Nikki. Do us a favor. Delete all that. We know you're not some weirdo Jeffrey Dahmer going to hurt anybody or rape any girls or anything. You know, you're kind of a gentleman. Delete all that off the internet, all your videos and stuff. So you have less problems anyways, dude. You don't, and they're just going to keep hacking you. Just get off that internet there and go live your life, man. You got what, 50 years left, and you're kind of old, and just delete that and go live your life, dude. You know, we don't get any problems. You've shown us long enough. We understand everybody likes naked ladies, and some guys still like guns. And we know your mama thinks, she was a nurse, and we know she every once in a while she gets two-fisted and likes to figure out who needs to be on medication. That was her big thing. She liked to be an advocate with the doctors, get her schmuck on and get her cigarettes going. Like, I don't even smoke cigarettes, man. Do I take narcotics? No. I would never. Okay. Do you know the liability issue? That's the other thing they get you on. They legalized marijuana. They'll probably change it on a federal level, but if you're having a little fun on a Friday night and you smoke a little marijuana and you're in your house and you defend yourself, you could go to prison. If they give you a blood test, they could put you in prison for murder. It's illegal on a federal level. It's one of the questions on the federal firearms application. Yeah, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. You don't want the tobacco demon either. Marijuana, drugs, alcohol, and guns do not go together. Zero. No. Never. Never again. Never, ever. Okay? They just don't. They got my Twitter. Yeah. See, I think what it is I'm serious. Like, yeah, I'm not that smart of a guy, but I started off listening to Rush Limbaugh and, Joe Pags and Gunback and Hannity and all these guys over 25 years ago, before everybody was glued to Fox News or CNN, and that decided who you were. Okay. So I think I'm truly a well-rounded conservative. I really am. I took a little bit from all those guys, listening to all those radio programs. The problem is I'm just kind of old, you get old, and those kind of guys, they did well for themselves, right? I didn't do so well. Too much of that beer back in the day. But I ain't going with them lying Democrats, I can guarantee you that. I ain't going with them. No way. And I ain't going with them polar bears that want to eat me, so we're going to stay in that window of tolerance, okay, right? I'm going to try to stay right down the middle, but now they got my Twitter. That bugs me. Yeah, so I just meant, like, even like the preacher woman says, your enemies in your own house. Like, my family they don't like guns. Okay? So I don't even talk to them anymore. I literally don't. I cannot, because of politics, because of the Second Amendment. I literally cannot even have a conversation. I think that's when my mom stopped talking to me. When she found out I voted for Trump, she quit talking to me. I have literally not have more. I've seen my mother twice since Trump was elected. She bought me this computer to help me finish school as a like a birthday present or something, Christmas or something. They hate my guts. You know, I'm serious. The way I heard them, like the way I heard them talk about the president of the United States, I mean, you wouldn't have got away with that 20 years ago. Um, I don't know. You know, again, I always told people I didn't vote for a pastor in chief. I voted for a commander in chief. Okay, I voted for a guy to defend, which used to be a Democrat, but hey, somebody's better than nothing. Hey, I voted for somebody that would at least maybe stand up for the Second Amendment. Try to stop the hemorrhaging at the borders. Try to preserve our country. Ask people to come in legally. I don't think that's too much. You know, keep people out from the axis of evil. These people that are sworn enemies of Israel in the United States. Pretty basic stuff. You just got to look out for a polar bear once in a while, apparently, too. When you do that, though, you don't want to upset an old Smoky. Just don't talk to their daughter, and you'll probably be all right. Okay. I'd be real careful. You better get permission from the old Smoky next time before you go asking his daughter out. Okay. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the honest truth. I love my parents, but we can't even have a conversation. Ever since they found out I voted for Trump, they won't even, like, they're caught in this, like, they love me, but they can't stand me. They won't even talk to me. And it's almost like they're like those people down at the college. They're starting to lie about me. So, you know, I hate to say all that, but you know, it's getting to the point where who has a lawyer that you can't talk to? Well, how does that work? Does anybody out there have a lawyer that you're not allowed to tell them about your case? He's only supposed to talk to your mom? Like what? I don't care who's paying for it. No downspouts? This is an absolute liberal communist manifesto, audible playbook, moved from the pits of hell again. And you know what they do? They go, but it's you want a dirt sandwich. You'd rather have a Oh, these pricks. Oh, what a bunch of pricks. Well, I guess I'm on. Well, I still got a few. I got a couple social media. But whatever. You know, hey, look, I ain't giving up my Second Amendment for some blueberry pancakes, okay? I'm just not doing it. You know, that's how crazy it is. You know, people used to, husbands and wives and stuff used to be able to have differing political opinions. You know, I'm an outdoors guy. So I've been around guns all my life. You'd have to be out of your cotton picking mind to vote for a Democrat after what they did down at that college, and they lie right to their teeth. And then they try to make you look paranoid. They try to make you look goofy. Forget if you've ever been talked to a third. I mean, if you have, you, I mean, you hear that stuff on them gun shows, like a guy and a gal go to marriage counseling. Just something like that. You got a czar sitting around now. You wonder why the NRA is trying to stop that? Imagine that. Just a guy sitting around having an argument, trying to save his marriage. So he agrees to go to some therapy or something. And then somebody writes up something, a thing, and some government, some transgender czar or something that hates guns and all Republicans writes up. Oh, there's a red flag. Next thing you know, the guy he never touched his wife in all his life. Those are the kinds of things they greasing the wheels for when they lie through their teeth and say, oh, the guy thinks everybody's against him. Could there be anything that sounds any more crazy than that? Thanks, lady. Unbelievable. Where's my coffee?
And we live in a suburb.